Well, hello guys. Welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. As you can see, we have kind of a different thing going on today. I'm kind of cramming a lot into the screen, and this is about as far as I can go. Let's see here, to give you guys the best view possible. Okay, yeah, that pretty much encapsulates it. So, I guess to explain this situation first, I really can't do a large scale setup kind of like Metal Complex does. So Metal Complex has this thing where he can show like his whole table. Well, my reviewing area that I created is literally, those of you that have seen the behind the scenes looks like on the previous videos, this is a box that is made out of cardboard. I have old flooring boards here that I don't use. I have like this workout mat that I created a dome with, lined it with some, old pillowcases that are white to try and give off like a light deflector. And then I have lights mounted into the box. This whole box is maybe like a 20-inch by 20-inch box. It's maybe, I don't know, 2 feet tall. So that's why I'm kind of limited to the space, but I think this is enough. You guys are probably wondering, what the hell am I looking at? You got so many knives here that I definitely haven't done a review on any of these yet. And, some of these you might not have seen before. So what I'm doing today is these are all newer knives that you may or may not have seen. I did some unboxings. I probably have some unboxings and I'm waiting to release on these. That type of thing, right? But you guys also know how I'm kind of, and I've mentioned it before, and I think I'm gonna start something with the name, so I need to trademark this name quick. I'm kind of a knife polygamist, okay? I've come to terms with that, and it took me a while to figure that out. It was in the beginning, I'm like, I am definitely keeping this knife forever. I am definitely keeping this knife forever. And I said that about like every second knife that I got in. And then you guys, some of you that have been with me for a while, the joke is like, well, that's going to be gone in a couple weeks, even after I've said that, right? And the reason is because I do a lot of flipping and trading of knives. Why? I have to keep content for the channel going to get new knives in. I don't get knives sent to me. I mean, guys send knives into me, but I don't. It's a lot of work and pressure to get guys that lend knives in and then to try and get it back. So if I had a system like Metal Complex or the other channels, I don't know that I'm ready to make that commitment yet, because I'm making that commitment to you guys. The guys that have sent knives in are just really, really generous, and some of them are good friends. A lot of them became good friends through the process, too. So all these are knives that I've accumulated myself. What that means is I have to flip and trade knives all the time in order to pay for this channel, I guess. I chose to do it. This isn't a sympathy call. What this is saying is I'm a knife polygamist. I'm constantly trading and selling knives, and then I'm constantly being a hypocrite and saying, I'm never going to trade this knife. I'm never going to sell this knife. And the next thing you know, I sell it. And you're like, you liar. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to attempt to tell you which knives I intend to make it into. I have a mass drop showcase box, that black box that some of you may have gotten. It was a pretty good deal. It's a really nice box that has my forever knives in it. If you've made it into that box, it is very unlikely that you will ever get traded or sold unless you're a super high quality piece that I still intend to trade, but I like to show off in the box. My goal here today is to tell you which ones of these I intend to keep forever, which ones are maybe, and which ones are definitely not. Now, this is kind of a spin on like my forever knife as far as if I had to choose one. I'm not giving myself a choice as far as which ones I have to keep, which ones I don't. I'm just letting you guys know based on what I've initially seen. And keep in mind, most of these have not even made it into my pocket because I'm still on the 30-day challenge to carry the Crkt Huron for, it's a $50 and below budget knife. I actually really, really like this knife, but through carrying it, I learned a lot. Some guys, I invited, sorry for the U's. I invited Jake from Ohio State, Corey over there at the Practical Blade, and JoJo over there at Joe's Multi-Tool and EDC to do the challenge with me. And we're going to see if we can get together and maybe do my very first live and talk about those. But that's kind of a hurdle because I haven't gone to the live stage yet. I got to figure all that out. But through those learnings, you learned a shit ton about yourself and about knives and about a knife. And it taught me that I just really want variety. That's a lot of the basis, and that's kind of where the word knife polygamy came from. And I think that's going to be the title of my live. So I'm going to steal it and say knife polygamy. It's not really stolen, it's mine. Somebody may steal it before I do a live, but I think it's a really cool way to just kind of portray what we do. So without further ado, I'm going to go and I'm just going to name what these knives are and talk about them. And in no particular order, I'm going to pick one up, I'm going to talk about it. And keep in mind, these are first impressions. They may not have even made it into my pocket yet. And I'm going to talk, and at the end of each one, I'm going to tell you, this is a maybe, this is a definite forever, and then this one is a no. And then what I'll also do is I'll keep in mind which ones these were, and in like 2 or 3 months, I'm going to give you guys an update on how true this video actually is. Second to this, I wanna reiterate, I am doing the King of the Hill series. I did run a giveaway for, where did it go? The prototype Artisan Cutlery Kizer. I know the name of it now. I am gonna run, I have the giveaway going, so go check out that channel, or go check out that video. It was posted like 2.5 weeks ago. Those of you that haven't gotten in on that yet, you know, you're lucky because I haven't done anything with it yet. I promised those guys in that video that I would pick a comment based on the criteria in the video, and then the winner of that would also get that Kizer knife. It is completely up to my discretion, but it also dictates a lot of where my King of the Hill series goes. With that being said, I am dragging my feet on it on purpose. Due to the 30-day challenge, a lot of stuff has kind of been put, not on the back burner, but it's been slowed up quite a bit. Plus, I'm not ready to start the King of the Hill series because I want to take it serious, and I really want to do it right. So there's a lot of thought going into it. Plus, you have to accumulate some knives to kind of build up into the series, right? So go check out that video if you haven't gotten in on it yet. It's a giveaway for, once again, why did I put it away if I'm going to freaking advertise it again? For the Artisan Cutlery Kizer. I'm not going to tell you how to enter. You guys got to go watch that video. If you guys notice, I love doing giveaways, but I don't love doing giveaways to bring in people necessarily. I love doing giveaways to the people that watch my channel and interact frequently. Sometimes I hide giveaways. Lately I haven't been, just because the channel's kind of picked up a little bit of steam and I'm trying to ride that momentum. But just know that as the channel continues to progress, I do hide giveaways in my videos that, you know, it's really for the guys that watch the videos. It's not for the people that are just there for the giveaway. I get it. It's a thing. You know, you go on Instagram and everybody's tagging everybody trying to get free shit. But whatever. Okay, so let's get into this. And let's talk about probably the least expensive knife on this table. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the very hard to deploy, but very nice. So I'm making this look bad. It is very hard to access. This is the Crkt Sketch. I actually got this knife because I really love my Huron. I think the Huron is a badass knife, and I saw the Sketch and I thought the color scheme looked great. And also, I have the Tuna, which I've never carried yet, but I really love the design. I just haven't carried it because I've had so much going on as far as like reviews and what I'm doing with the channel, right? But the Crkt Sketch is another Lucas Burnley Crkt design, and it is just, I got it because I wanted to feel some more Lucas Burnley designs because I really, really like those too. And I really like this one. The access to the opening hole is a little bit difficult. As you can see, I'm getting better at it as I go. The thumb access, you can get in there, but it's going to be really difficult. Now keep in mind, I have really crappy fingernails, so those of you with fingernails may be able to get into it easier. Those of you new to the channel too, can address this real quick. I got crappy looking fingernails. I have psoriasis. It is what it is. Not saying anything, but I know I get a lot of comments saying, ew, fingernails. Go screw yourself. All right. Or ask respectfully what's going on with it, right? Don't just immediately judge someone. Oh, man, that was a bad tangent. So the Crkt Sketch. What am I going to do with this? This is a really cool little budget blade, but I just don't see myself having any reason to keep it. Now, that being said, with the price that it costs, this was like $30. I really don't think I'm going to try to sell this either. Selling anything less than $30 doesn't make much sense to me. It really just kind of is a waste of time, because PayPal takes their dividend. You freaking got to go through the post office, and it costs $4 or $5 to ship there, so you really make $10 on the sale. Doesn't make much sense. So I'll probably end up doing this in a giveaway, unless I like sell it in a little bundle package as an add-on or something like that. Very cool knife, but I do not see it sticking around my collection. I'll put that over there, and I'll try to organize these as we go on. All right, so the next cheapest knife on the table, we'll just do this by price, okay? That way I have some sort of semblance. This is the SOG Terminus. The SOG Terminus XR. If you can hear my chickens, they're in the backyard. Yep. So this is in D2, Cryo D2. And I just think this thing for $50 in D2, I think it's really, really good. I really don't care if there's any imperfections. For my purpose, when I review it, I'll let you guys know what imperfections and everything I find. But overall, this kind of feels like... Where is it? There it is. This kind of feels like a more solid version of my bug out. It's like a direct bug out, maybe a mini bug out competitor. I really love the bug out in titanium. I did not love it before the titanium. I really love this more than the bug out because of those steel liners. This is a knife that I'm probably going to keep for the channel, and a knife that I think I would really enjoy using as just an overall user beater knife. So I'm going to put this in the maybe category, because I think this is a really, really good knife. And despite it being in the maybe category, even if I get rid of it, I may even upgrade it and get the upgraded like XR LTE version or whatever it is. So that's going in the maybe. Next, let's see here. I'm trying to remember the pricing on these guys. Let's go with, I'll go with the Guru. This is the Kizer Guru. The reason this is next, this was originally like $200, but they're going discontinued now. So if you can find it, my recommendation to you is to buy it immediately. This knife is fantastic. Ergonomically, it is great. The action, it's actually pretty loose right now, which I can fix, but it's, hold on, let me see. Do I get the right bit in here? Okay. All right, so there's no back and forth, no up and down, and the action, freaking awesome. Yes, you may have a little bit of a tight lock bar or tight detent when you first get it, but there's things that you can do to alleviate that, which I did. Ergonomically, this is a beast, and to be perfectly honest, once again, compared to the bug out, this is like the perfect EDC size in my opinion. It fits in your pocket great. This is just a fantastic freaking knife, and it's dusty. This is definitely staying in my collection. I can see myself loving this knife more than most. This is just a really, really, really good. So this is going to stay in the permanent collection. Next, let's go here. Now I'm kind of going in the generic price range. This is the Wisakshi. So very, 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 I guess first, super comfortable with these contoured scales. Very thin blade that has a full flat grind. This is what I imagine as like just an amazing, amazing knife. This does not feel completely wee. Due to the liners and everything, even though the liners are steel or a titanium, really nice carbon fiber as you can see here. And I believe a 20 CV blade. Yep, 20 CV blade. This thing came in at like $160, which is why it doesn't feel completely like a Wii. It feels like a mixture between Wii and Civivi. There is another Wii that, or Civivi that's dropping. I don't remember if it's an Elementum model or what it is, but it might be an Elementum. There's a model that looks like this that's dropping soon that I want to get and compare because it's like $60 cheaper. But this thing is awesome, absolutely awesome. It's just, I can't tell you guys how good the Wisakshi is. It's probably all you need in an everyday carry knife. Is it going to be a forever knife? I don't know. I really, really like it, but it's definitely not an immediate buy. So it's going to go in the maybe category. Let's go next for this Frankenstein of a knife. As you can see, I totally butchered trying to open up this ceramic ball lock axis, but This is the Spyderco cue ball. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's wrong with this when you first get it. As you can see, I modified it, but I couldn't wait to modify it. Why? Because I intend to keep this. This is an awesome 5th pocket knife that the action's okay. It's a little bit of fidget when you figure out the ceramic ball lock, but the ergonomics really are good. And then you have this Wharncliffe style blade it's a Wharncliffe blade that is just so functional. This I can see being an amazing user knife. And this definitely is going to be a keeper forever because I've already jacked up this area. But I did it for me because I can see myself carrying this as a 5th pocket knife. It reminds me of the Little Native. It's VG10, so blah, blah, blah. I overpaid for it because I found it. If you're going to go get this, check on Amazon. Do your research first. Because I bought this at like $160. And yes, I know VG10, you bought it for 160 bucks. I like the design, so whatever. But I also saw it like after it was on the way, I was looking it up again. Found it for like 99 bucks on a website. So if you want this, go look for it. Don't just buy the first one you see. This is going to be a keeper. I thoroughly enjoy that knife. Next, let's see here. Well, since we're talking about modded knives, this is my ProTech Mass Drop Ferrum Forge Mordax. Listen to this. Oh. That's cool, right? These thumb studs. You guys may not recognize them. You may. They're kind of generic thumb studs. These came off of my Rat Model 2. As you can see, there is no flipper tab. I removed the flipper tab and added thumb studs because I thought this would be cool with it, and I think I was right. I thoroughly enjoy this knife. This knife is really, really cool. Now, in the process of modding it, I did screw up a little bit. I had my maintenance guys at work kind of take the... they drilled the hole for me because I didn't have a drill press, and in the process of pinching it in there to get the press, they actually snapped off the flipper tab, which was fine. I was going to remove the flipper tab anyways. And it snapped it off almost perfect, but now I have a little bit of this, which would annoy some, and that's why I'm probably not even going to try to sell it, because it snapped off slightly too much. Now, is the lock good? Oh yeah, it's locked up. But it's just not locked up to where you don't have any of this going on. But this is the ProTech Mordax. This is a definite keeper, mainly because I modded it, but you really can't get them anymore, so this is really, really cool. I'm going to actually try, this is going to be my first Cerakoting project. I'm going to try to learn how to Cerakote. I already got some of the tools in to do it. I don't have the Cerakote yet, but if I can get on that, maybe I'll do like a little Cerakoting service for way cheaper than somebody else because I'm not a professional, but if you guys like the work, maybe we can do that. But we'll see. That's a long-term goal. I like the modding, though. I'm not a knife maker, but I love modding knives. So that's going to go in the keep section. Next. Okay. So I will provide a link to this guy's Instagram. I will do a review on this. This is a very, very new knife maker. And his name it's J Blades or JJ Blades or something. You can see his logo right there. It's just a lowercase j. It's so classy. This is a fixed blade in 01 tool steel. He did this really cool horizontal etching going on there. Like he scratched it up horizontally, almost like you're doing a hand satin finish, and then did like acid washing, and it just looks so good. And then a stone wash over the top. Really cool looking blade. Ergonomically, very, very, very good feeling. Now, is this going to spin in my hand? It might because the handle's so rounded, but I mean, this is just a cool little EDC knife that I really, really like. Pretty fair priced, especially for a custom. By the way, this kid's only 17 years old, and he's only made, this is his 41st knife, I believe, that he's ever made. So kudos to him for going down this journey. I'm trying to talk him into, getting a knife to us and maybe circulating it through the channels and stuff like that. So that's a long-term play. We haven't talked too much lately because I've had a lot going on, but we're going to get to that, and I will review this. I will also give you guys a link to his Instagram. He doesn't make a ton of knives yet, but he's only 17, and he's already doing this kind of work. This G10 looks so good. Pinned construction. Really, really cool. Had a couple problems with the sheath and everything, but we'll talk about that in the review, but it's minor, right? Overall, Grind is really well done. Wicked sharp out of the package, rather. And just really, really cool. So this is going to be a keeper just because this is my first, technically this is my first custom knife. I know it doesn't fit the terminology of custom necessarily, but that's where this one goes. Very, very cool. Okay, that's what's going off the screen because, all right, let's rearrange these so you guys can see these better. We're getting to some high dollar knives. We're getting to some big boys. Doot, 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 doot. And I guess I can't really. Sorry about this, guys. It's kind of hard to manage all these. Okay, so next on the list is my Hogue. I called it the SOG. It's a Hogue Sig Sawyer K320. Holy shit. This knife is so damn good. It is so impressive. It is just so comfortable in hand. This thing is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The action is really, really good. A couple complaints, you know, it's a little bit difficult to access this. You know, they have a nub here, which I wasn't sure what it was for. It's like a reverse sharpening choil, right? But if you look where it's at, here's the plunge grind, and the nub comes past the plunge grind. It actually acts as a reverse sharpening choil. Now, you're still going to get a smile with it, but why I think it exists, which I haven't verified yet, is the way this finger choil comes up into the plunge grind. I think this is here to guard your finger from the blade. That's what I think. I think this is a finish to the finger choil. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's where this is. Overall, I am definitely keeping this knife because I cannot wait to carry this. This can be a knife that I'm just comfortable beating the crap out of. It's an S30V, and it feels like something that you want to use. Like, you guys know those knives, they could only be $100, like the Damascus Civivis, that you don't want to do a bunch of cutting with because they're so beautiful. This is beautiful in a way of a user. This feels like I just want to... And then, of course, after I got my hands on this and another Hogue, Hogue's build quality is insane. I actually have another Hogue on the way that's pretty legendary as far as like the Hogue world. So let me get rid of that. So yeah, this is just a really, really good knife. Keeping it. This is definite forever keeper, definite user. So the next knife, I'm still trying to go in order of like semi-value progression. Let's get this in here. Oh no, these are bigger knives. Okay, sorry, that one's a little off screen there. That's probably one of the most important ones. Next, value-wise, let's check out this. This is the John Gray Kizer SLT. A massive knife. John Gray, I believe, is a self-defense expert. I think. Ergonomically, it feels pretty darn good. The lock bar access is very easy. The flipper's really, really strong. It has a really strong detent, which I can adjust if I intended to keep. This blade shape is absolutely gorgeous. This may be my favorite blade shape. I don't know what you call this. This is kind of like a clip point or a drop point mix, but the way the grind stops here and then, or the flat stops here and it goes out to the tip. I love this blade shape so much. This is a really, really cool design, really good action, and ergonomics, I mean, you kind of fall right into it. They're not perfect, but they're pretty darn good. But it's kind of too big, too stiff. I don't see myself keeping this. This is definitely one that I'll probably re-release back to the market. So it's not that it's anything other than this is a knife that's not really my EDC style. I do love this knife, but it's a little bit too big for my style, and I don't like it enough as a bigger knife to really stay in the collection. Really, really cool, though. Look what they did here with the scalloping right there. I don't know if you guys can see it due to the lighting. There you go. Really cool knife. But that's not going to stay in the collection, let's just be honest. Okay, now we're down to the biggins. This knife, the Kizer Roach in titanium. So I got this because, like most of you, we probably watched Neve's Knives. And he just went on a tear about the Kizer Roach. He went on an absolute tear about how good the Kizer Roach actually is. And you know what? It is. It's really, really good. At ergonomics, I think I'm going to have to get used to these ergonomics because this is not your standard ergonomic shaped handle. As far as like, I prefer more neutral designs, which I'll show in a little bit. And so it doesn't fit my hand quite right, but I also haven't had a chance to carry it yet due to that 30-day challenge. So everything about this speaks to me. The tall blade shape, the large ass, massive forward finger choil. I believe this is, what is this, S35 VN, and it just feels like such a good knife. It is very, very large, very massive, but it is really cool. Am I going to keep this? I do not know. This is going in the maybe category. I really like it, but I'm not sure. I got to get used to the ergonomics. If I can't get those ergonomics down, it's not going to stay. Okay. Left on the list, let's start here. I'm still working my way up on price, guys. These are some pretty hefty priced pieces right here. This is the QSP Legatus. This knife is super comfortable. The access to the lock bar isn't the greatest, but the lock bar is soft, so it, in my opinion, doesn't matter all that much. And look at this badass QSP action. Oh my gosh. And if you guys can hear my kid in the background, I apologize. He's just going berserk, and I'd rather have him have fun going berserk than, you know, anything else. So, anyways, this blade shape is great. This is M390, and, oh, yeah. This is a, who is this? It's a DBW, which I think somebody told me is a, oh, damn it, I forgot it again. It's like, it's Dutch Blade Works, I think is what it is. And they do have these models in certain locations for cheaper. They're like $70 for like a G10 and different blade steel. This is the titanium with a really nice carbon fiber inlay. Super good action and ergonomics, relatively neutral, feel really good. This knife is badass. What this is to me, this is my version of what QSP is. So it is just amazing. Everything about QSP is fantastic. Just look at the EMP Nimble. They did a fantastic job on that. And so I gave it a try. This knife was $280. Is it worth $280? We'll go over that in the review. But I do intend to keep this. I love QSP. I'm a QSP fanboy, and this is kind of what QSP does. The action, so good. I have the ability to get an HRC test and a chemistry test on these items, so some of these I may. So QSP's M390, maybe I'll get an HRC test on it. By a licensed metallurgist. I have that ability now. It's kind of cool. So we'll maybe check that out. But I absolutely love this knife. And then to cap it off, they did a lanyard post, which is my favorite way of doing a lanyard. Do this. I think it even looks cool for us non-lanyard people. So keep doing that. It's just so nice. This knife is really, really good and definitely one that I intend to keep. Next, let's go price-wise. Trying to stick on the price. I'll go with the ZT308. I know this costs over $300. I got it on the secondary for pretty darn cheap, so thank you. I think you watched the channel or you said you checked it out, so I want to thank you for that deal. This is really, really cool. The ergonomics are great. The action is stupid, and this is probably the first ZT since the 0562 that I really, truly love. I think this thing is amazing. You have this frame lock that's like super light but sticky. It doesn't have lock stick, but like it's just perfect. And you guys hear that action. So this knife, I don't even think they make this anymore. Maybe they do, but I don't know. This is a knife I intend to keep because I don't have any other ZTs. This is massive. It's overbuilt. It may not make it into my pocket that often, but I really, really, really think this is so much fun. This is just a really cool knife. Well done, old school ZT, not their new school crazy stuff, right? All right, next. Start running out of space here. Get you out of the picture. Try to stack these up without scratching anything, you know what I mean? Oh. Okay. Next on the list. Let us go over. So we'll hit the Berg Blade Slim here soon. This, oh wow, that was weird. This is the Spyderco Subvert. Really cool knife. This is just so different. The action for this sub, I'm going to call it a sub frame lock because it's like, it's supposed to be a liner lock, but look at those liners. They're like massive chunks of titanium. Yes, I guess they're liners, but you probably could totally remove the frickin' G10 and it would be fine. This knife is really cool. It has a unique feel. I believe this is on phosphor bronze. Maybe. I think it has an internal stop from what I just seen. It's just a really, really good feeling knife. You could tell this thing is just so well built. And that Nessmuck blade shape, like if I was an outdoorsy guy, I feel like, and I love outdoors, but I don't go do enough stuff outdoors with knives. Like I don't like grab a backpack and go out into the woods for like 4 days. So if I did, I could see this staying in my collection. This seems like something that can really, really work in an outdoor situation and kind of accomplish a lot of different things. I don't intend to keep this. This is just too damn big. I don't like it enough for a large knife, like I said, same as the SLT, to really keep in the collection. So this is going to go into a not keep. Next, let's go over the Berg Blade Slim. Oh man, I just got this thing in, and it's not the honeymoon phase, guys. This is so good. Look at that. So good. And this is kind of my style of knife. If you guys can't tell, you know, let's take a look at the Wii Esprit, which is no question the one that I'm keeping. This is the Wii Esprit. There's the size of the Wii Esprit. The Berg Blade Slim is comparable to that size as far as length. It's a little chunky boy, but you guys already know I'm addicted to the little chodes. Never say that again outside of a context. Anyways, I'm addicted to the little thick tanky knives, right? Like the Thugs, the Dauruses, the what was another one? I felt a couple more, and they were just, I love these things so much. And this is finally one that I think I like more than the Thug. I like more than the Daurus. I like more than any small chunky knife that I've ever felt. And I got this as a byproduct, and a really good deal, by the way, so thank you. I think it was, I forgot. We've been trading back and forth, and I forgot his name. I do that a lot. Don't be offended if I forget your name, just because I talk to so many people, plus trying to respond to each comment. And when I respond to comments, I make sure I try and use your name so that you know I'm talking to you. I want it to feel personal, and I just start forgetting names, damn it. But this thing is so cool. I love the look. It's a gorgeous looking knife. It's just amazing. This is designed by Berg Blades, made by We Knife Co. And this is another one that I'm planning a special review for. I've already kind of reached out to him in Instagram for a little bit more information, and we're going to be doing a real special review on this one. This is a definite keeper, guys. This is probably in the top 5 of my collection. I love it that much. Okay, down to these two. Now you may be saying, that some of you that are more astute in the knife world, in the higher end knife world, know exactly what this is. Some of you that are more astute in the modern knife world, that's the higher end, know what this is. This is the Vero Isotope. Now, I got this because I wanted to try another Vero because I was not happy with the Axon. It wasn't that I wasn't happy with the Axon, it was that, I'll move that off the screen for a second. It wasn't that I wasn't happy, it just wasn't my type of design. I didn't appreciate it for what it was. I don't like Wharncliffes, as you can tell. Look, I love this, right? It's like a almost, I think it's a sub 3-inch blade, barely. I love this. Look at this. Definitely a sub 3-inch blade. Do you guys see a theme? If it's going to be a Wharncliffe, I want it to be shorter. I feel like you get a lot more control with the tip. I'm going to be doing more push cuts than I am going to be slicing. I don't need that much blade. I don't want that much blade, and that's what the Axon did. I should have grabbed the mini Axon, but funds were a little limited. I could not jump on that drop. If you guys did get a mini Axon and you want to send it in the channel for review, please do. But other than that, I mean, I love that style. So I had to try a new Vero, right? So I bought this off the secondary. While waiting for it, I looked at some reviews, and the reviews on this suck until Metal Complex came along. I had mine before he got his, so I didn't get a chance to check out his view on it. But they were like, the action is awful, this and that, the flipper tab's bad. Well, you know what I did when I first got this? I spent about And it wasn't broken in when I got it. The action was not very good when I got it either. I didn't do anything to it. All I did was go like this, put my finger on the lock bar, put some pressure, watch TV, and did this, right? Did that for about an hour. And then this is what the result of it is. So one of their main concerns was the action. Now, ergonomically, is this the best? It feels kind of weird, like you're kind of like sucked into this spot, but the spot's too large, so it kind of takes up some of your finger space right here. But I love the lock bar. I love how Vero does this ramp into their detent. They have a detent track with a detent ramp into it. So watch. If you guys notice, see that? Hold on. Let's see. It wants to push it back. See that? It's partially the blade strength, but there's a ramp that goes to that detent track. And it creates, like, once the detent ball's on it, it wants to just roll back out. So you have to clear that ramp. But it's a smooth transition, and then you get this. Action is so good. Now look at this blade. It has a slight, does it have a slight recurve? I wasn't sure if it had a slight recurve in it or not, or if that's just my eyes, kind of the way the grind is. It does kind of feel like it bows in just a little bit right there. Could be wrong. The sharpening choil is done perfectly. Looking at it there. The carbon fiber is so good looking. I know people have a problem with their flipper or for their pocket clips. I don't have a problem with it. And overall, this is my only integral knife, and this is not going anywhere. I love the Vero isotope. Think this is absolutely phenomenal. Last on the table, this is the Laconico custom min pin. So Monterey Bay Knives did a run of min pins, okay? And when I got this in hand, guys, I did a trade. And I'm not even going to talk about the trade because I don't really want to. I traded a Sebenza and something else, right? Not a Sebenza. I traded a Sebenza and some money for this because this was running. I believe it went on the raffle for like 600 bucks. He let it go for 500, so I traded it for 100 bucks and my Sebenza. Maybe a good trade, maybe not. He had dropped his price though already, so it's kind of like I think it was a decent trade at the value point. But you guys know I'm obsessed with Laconico. I think his designs are so cool. And this in hand feels good. But this is not something that I'm in love with. Now, let's bring back out the Guru. Let's try not to scratch any of my shit. Let's bring back out the Guru, okay? This is the Kizer Guru. I immediately fell in love with this. This thing is just fantastic, right? Look at all this. And this is made by Kizer for 200 bucks, okay? You can get them all now for like almost 100 bucks because they're going out. But this is, like, the action is okay. Now, I'm sure I could break it in, right? And everything is really, really nicely done. The finish is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous little knife. It doesn't speak to me, damn it. It did in the pictures, and then I got it in hand, and I'm like, I was so excited to feel a custom, and I think I'm going to stay away from custom knives in the terms of the Laconicos, the Matt Christensen's, well, maybe not Matt Christensen. I'll give him a chance. He's got some cool shit. But the production companies are doing so very well with these that I couldn't tell if this was a production or a custom. So I had to reach out to Monterey Bay, showed them videos, and they're like, yo, that is not our knife. That is Ray's knife because of the hardware that they use, this pin right there, and the Monterey Bay knives do a choil right here. There was a couple other subtleties that I don't remember. It does have some Timascus backspacer and pocket clip here. It's a really nice knife, guys. This thing is really classy. It's really cool. And if it was $200, I still probably wouldn't keep it. The design doesn't do enough for me. But I might, because I actually kind of like the way this feels. It's a really small little guy. And it's really tight tolerances and everything. But for $500-600, guys, I don't know. I don't know that I can do it. Because it's kind of like that Marfione custom Troodon that I've had. I won it in a raffle, and it just didn't speak to me enough for the cost. Now, when you spend a bunch of money on a knife, it changes what you're looking for. It changes that I don't know what I'm looking for at the $600 mark, but this didn't feel like it to me. I'm not saying this doesn't feel like $600. I guess what I'm saying is to me, I don't value this at $600 for my own personal, like, internal value system, right? So therefore, owning it and keeping it makes no sense. I think this knife is really cool. I have no problems with the custom version of this or anything of that nature. In terms of all that, I get that customs are going to cost more. I'm struggling because you guys know I love Ray Laconico. He's my favorite designer, and this is my first custom from him, so it kind of sucks. But I just don't. I don't think this is going to stay in the collection because I don't know that I could justify the price on this versus what it is. It just doesn't feel like a Hinderer feels like $450, and then you add a scale and stuff like that. You know, the Sebenza doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, feel like $500 when you add the micarta, but it feels close, right? And then you got the history behind the Sebenzas and everything that they've done. You guys have seen my review. It's definitely a really good knife, and if it's something that you like, go for it. But as far as my internal value system, which doesn't really affect my reviewing, but it does affect which knives I choose to keep, did not put too much of a value on it. This is kind of how this feels. So this is a really, really cool custom Ray Laconico verified by Monterey Bay Knives min pin. Fantastic little knife. I just have no reason to keep it. And so that you guys know how this works is I don't keep knives that I don't intend to use. So if it's going to be a super expensive knife, it better blow my freaking mind, right? I'm not afraid to use any knife of any price, but you better blow my mind for the price in terms of for me. It doesn't mean you have to do it for anybody else. You know, like I understand you're not making a knife for me, you're making it for everybody. So I'm not going to drone on too much more about this. This is the custom Ray Laconico min pin. Super cool little guy, super, super cool knife. I just have no intentions of actually keeping this. I think I'm going to send this out to another reviewer to check out along with a lot of high dollar stuff. You guys know him very well, and I don't know him on a first name basis, but we've been chatting a little bit. So I'm going to send him a bunch of stuff and he can check them out. I think I'll send this over too so we can check it out. It's just a really cool knife. All right, so I'm going to do a quick recap of it's kind of weighted, right? The knives that I have no intentions of keeping right now. The Crkt Sketch, no intentions of keeping. The Kizer SLT, no intentions. Spyderco Subvert, no intentions. The Ray Laconico Custom Min Pin, no intentions. The maybes. The SOG Terminus, I have a feeling I'm going to own one version or another, and I might as well just keep with the cheaper version because I already have enough expensive stuff. Like, there's no reason to upgrade this, and this is already really good. So this probably will be a keeper. I just don't 100% know yet. The Wisakshi. I am choosing to, like, because I can't carry any knives, like when I get home from work, I'll pick up a knife and I'll flip it. And sometimes I'll flip like 10 before I go to bed. It's like a weird ritual. It's like, I'm sorry, I miss you, right? So the Wisakshi is right there. And I pick this up every time that I get back. Kind of like the SOG Terminus, where I just really enjoy this knife. This feels like a really classy, affordable user in the perfect size of an EDC. And then the last one, which is a maybe keep, is the Kizer Roach. Really, really cool knife, really large, decent ergonomics, but I have to figure them out. Like, here feels okay, and then choked up feels good. But do I want that for this large of a knife? I don't know, right? So these are my maybes. All right, let's put these somewhere. Especially the min pin, gotta take care of that little sumbitch, because I don't want to damage a custom that I'm gonna be trading. All right, now for my for sure keepers. I want you guys to remember this list, because in a month or 2 months, whenever I do another video on this shit, You guys are going to tell me, aha, I knew it. You chose not to keep that one just because that's you freaking knife polygamist, right? You guys can tell the aha types of things. So let's go over this now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell you, actually, let's do this. Out of this list, no, this video is already running too long. Out of this list, I can tell you which ones, no, never mind. Never mind, we're not doing that. These are my for sure keepers. We'll go from there. This is my custom fixed blade, 01 tool steel from JJ Blades. I will link his Instagram in the description. Go check him out. Wait for the review on this and try to get him to, say, hey, we want to see another knife. Send it out to some knife reviewers to review. You know what I mean? Give him a little pressure. I keep trying to, I'm like, dude, let's get your name out there. Send me some shit. We'll send it around. But this is really, really cool. I love this little fixed blade. Like I said, I do believe the sheath needs a little work. There's a little bit of play in the sheath. And then these holes don't really line up for a tech lock, which I think everything needs to these days. You need to make it versatile, so we'll use. And actually, I did lose a screw on this, like within 3 days of carrying this, because he didn't Loctite the screws in there, and I didn't check. My fault, but I told him, I'm like, dude, you need to slap some blue Loctite on there. And he's like, well, I don't want to make it so you can't take it apart. And I'm like, that's what blue Loctite's for. I can still take it apart with blue Loctite, but I won't lose my freaking screws. So now I'm sure I could find some screws, but it was irritating, right? Almost fell off my pocket, but I lost it at night, so I couldn't find the screw. That's a definite keeper. This is my Spyderco cue ball. Already modified it. Love this knife for a 5th pocket knife. This is a keeper. I love it. My Kizer Guru. Got this for dirt cheap. They did. And actually, the guy that did this, he did this himself. Looks really good. It's like a lightning ano on the pocket clip. Taught me how to do a lightning ano. So you're going to see some videos coming soon of me trying that out. This is a definite keeper. I have no question in my mind that I'm going to keep this because I love this knife for an everyday carry knife. All right, next. The Berg Blade Slim. No question. Out of everything on this table, this is one of the top 3 that I have no questions that I'm going to keep. The modded knives I'm keeping because they're modded, right? And I do like them, but they're modded, so chances are I'm not getting rid of them. This one, yeah, definitely not getting rid of. Love this freaking knife. Can't wait to get my EMP Designs thick boy in to compare the two. The next one, similar case as the Berg Blade Slim, my Hogue Sig Sawyer K320. This isn't going anywhere. I could see myself carrying this as my main user knife along with like my QSP Penguin or something. That's where this fits. I love this knife. This knife is so good, and I never thought I'd say that about FRN. Or whatever the hell that is. It might not be FRN. I think they called it something else. The ZT308. This is going to stay in my collection until I find another ZT that I'm truly in love with, and then I might actually get rid of this. Mainly because I know I'm not going to carry it that often. It's just way too damn big for my pockets. I used to carry stuff like this, but I really definitely don't prefer this size anymore. But because I don't have a ZT that's a favorite, I think I would even keep this over the 0562 because I have a Hinder, and I just think this is a really, really cool knife. This is staying around. My QSP Legatus, just a prime example of what QSP is. It is so good, so underrated. I did get a reverse flick on this before, but the satin finish makes it hard to grab. Just such a good, beautiful knife. My ProTech Mordax. Got this in the trade. I'm going to practice my Cerakoting on this. Has a little bit of issues that you cannot fix because I busted the flipper tab off on accident. Really, really hard steel because when you tighten it down, that flipper tab went ping. So it was kind of 2 amateurs going. I like failing at those things because you learn from them, right? But this is just a really cool knife, and I didn't really like the Malibu that much. I mean, I appreciated it for what it was. I like the Mordax. I think this is really, really cool, especially with these thumb studs on there now. And I think I am probably the only person in the world that I know of that has a Mordax with thumb studs. Last but not least, my Vero Isotope. As it stands now, my only integral knife. Love it. Love the design. I love that I found reviews that hated it because it makes it so much sweeter to know that I loved it. There's something weird about that feeling. Everything about this knife is really cool. Probably won't carry it that often, but I will carry it and I won't be afraid of it. And I have no intentions of ever getting rid of this knife either. All right, guys. This was an interesting video. Hope you guys had fun. It turned out to be stupid long. I hope I could chop it up and make it better for you, but I'm about to listen to it now and listen to my jackassery. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for being the best part of the channel. And those of you that stuck around to the end, you guys are amazing. Don't forget to go check out that giveaway. I want to give it away to somebody who's really active in the channel. So if you guys stuck around to this point, you guys are the ones that I want to win that. Go check out that video on the King of the Hill giveaway series, all right? We're going to be starting a new series on King of the Hill based on the Ray Laconico Oui Esprit being like one of the best knives that I've ever felt for EDC, right? So there's a couple different subject categories and whatnot that we're doing with it, but just go watch that video, enter in the contest. You can win that Artisan Cutlery Cazador. That is all I got for you guys today. This has been all over the place. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. So sorry for the long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great freaking rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means a lot. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, give me some feedback in the comments below and hit the thumbs down button. In case you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon, which will be listed right here. In that Patreon, we're giving bi-monthly giveaways to just the Patreons based on the number of Patreons that we have in the Patreon. We will also be giving discounts on all the knives that I sell based on the number of patrons. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great day.